John Kramer was happening with it. Salute to you. Salute. Knockout Boxing 86 TV. What's happening with it? Salute. Knockout. What's good with it? Smooth Groove Boxing. What's good with you? Jason, what's happening with it? Chris, what's good with it, fam? Yeah, we had some hell of a fights this weekend. There was some good fights on them cards. Elevated Consciousness, what's happening with it? Salute. There was some good fights on that card this weekend. I can't even lie. There were some real good fights. Yes, sir. We gonna cook on it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna cook on everything that went down this weekend. And make sure when y'all come in the building, make sure y'all hit that like button for me. J.A. Dixon, what's happening with it? Salute. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, a lot going down. Hey, Ugas said we got a new king in town for the moment. You know what I'm saying? He showed that he is the real champion. Cassandra Mason, salute. What's going on with you, Queen? Yeah, y'all smash on that like button. Big Omega Red, what's happening with it? Now, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. I tried to tell people. They kept talking that, he gonna run through, Manny Pacquiao gonna run through Ugas. I tried to tell people. Nope, listen to what I said. I actually bet on Ugas too. So, yeah, uh-huh. But like I said, we're gonna talk about it. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You was trying to tell people in the chat. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, a lot of people don't know boxing like they think they know boxing. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna say that. Um, Mr. DBMH, what's happening with it? EJJ, what's good with it? Salute. And as y'all come in the building, make sure that y'all smash on that like button for me. Um, Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up. Give me 1 second. We're gonna get it started. So let's go ahead and get it started. I know they ain't sending out my notifications, but it is what it is. We're gonna get the show, started anyway. And salute to everybody in the building. Once again, as you come in the building, jump in the comment section, let me know you're in the building. And then, hit that like button. Hit that like button for me. So we had a hell of a night of fights, it was some good fights on that card. It was some good fights. A lot of them dudes we didn't know, but they turned out to be real good fights. And the first fight I want to talk about is that Mark Pacquiao versus Julio Ceja fight. That was a good ass fight, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That was a hell of a fight. Mark Pacquiao versus Julio Ceja. Them dudes, man, went at it. And, you know, right off the bat, right off the rip, Mark Pacquiao came out and he caught Julio Ceja with a hook right on the nose and knocked him down. And a lot of us thought the fight was going, you know what I'm saying, was going to end real soon. You feel me? A lot of us thought that that fight was going to end real soon, but Julio Ceja came back, and to me, Julio Ceja was winning every round damn near. You know, he was winning every round. Mark Pacquiao showed that he cannot take body punches like that. He didn't know how to defend the body punches, and it took him a long time to make an adjustment, right? It took him probably about like 7 rounds before he made an adjustment. And what he did, if y'all go watch that fight between Julio Ceja and Mark Pacquiao, the adjustment he made is that he realized, when he finally realized that he couldn't stop Julio Ceja from coming forward, and he couldn't stop the body attack, right? Because all you had to do is really, use angles on Julio Ceja, and and continue to move instead of going it straight back in the line. All he had to do is continue is move, use angles, but he didn't do that. So what he did is he did make a good adjustment. Every time Julio Ceja came in, he would wrap him up to stop his onslaught to the body. So he would hold him, he would wrap him up. And if he had made that adjustment earlier on in the fight, I think that he could have made that fight a lot easier for him, but he took too long to make that adjustment. So when he did finally make that adjustment, he started, making his way back in the fight. Julio Ceja knocked him down later on in that fight. I don't remember what round it was, but Julio Ceja knocked Mark Pacquiao down, right? So at that point in that fight, to me, Mark Pacquiao was down on my scorecard by a lot. You know what I'm saying? The fight wasn't close. The only round, like I said, that I had gave Mark Pacquiao, the Asian kid, the only round I had gave him was the first round where he scored the knockdown in, and maybe one more round after that, right? So to me, he was getting his ass beat. He didn't make no adjustments, and he couldn't figure out how to stop the body attack. But when he finally did make the adjustment later on, it might have been in round 6, 7, maybe like 7, 8. I don't remember when he finally did. It was late in the fight, probably like 8 rounds before he made the adjustment. Hey, but when he made that adjustment, you could tell that he started giving Julio Ceja some problems, right? Because he was wrapping him up. And every time he wrapped him up, they would have to reset. And he was able to get off because Mark Pacquiao he got a lot of power, and he had very fast hands. He just didn't have the ring IQ to compete with Julio Ceja. And whoever told him to make the adjustment, but whoever saw like, hey, you can't stop this dude from going to your body, and he's about to stop you, because Mark Pacquiao was about to get stopped. You've seen it in his body language. You've seen how he was reacting to those body shots. Every time he was getting hit with those body shots, all he knew how to do was just basically curl up in a ball. And he looked like he was about to get stopped, right? Because he couldn't make an adjustment. But when he finally made the adjustment, he started holding him. It slowed Julio Ceja down some. It ultimately, man, when he called Julio Ceja, what happened is Mark Pacquiao, when he caught his second win, I don't know what they put in his drink when he went back to the corner, but he came out, and what was that? Was that the 11th, 10th, 11th round? One of those rounds. I believe he got to stoppage. Somebody let me know when that stoppage happened. It was late. It might have been, it was like the 10th or 11th round. It might have been the 12th round. I don't remember what round it was. I think it was like 10th or 11th. But when he came out, man, he got that second wind, and he looked like the fighter that he was in the first round. He looked like the fighter that he was in the first round when he came out. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, he looked like the fighter that he was in the first round. He got that second win, and he came out, man, and he came out throwing, and he came out trying to get the knockout, and he did, man. He showed his hand speed, and that kid, Mark Masayo, he got devastating punching power. That's one thing he do got. He need to, brush up on his ring IQ and some of his skills, but he got devastating punching power. Y'all give me a second here. Let me see. He got devastating punching power. And once that kid polishes up his ring IQ and learns a lot more and continues to get better, he gonna be dangerous because hey, he can punch. He can punch, man. And Julio Ceja, I thought he was dead for a minute. Dude was not dead, but I thought he was gonna suffer some, after effects because he was out on the canvas for like 5 minutes. When he did get up, he fell right back out. So I was nervous for Julio Ceja because it looked real bad. It looked real bad, and I hope he don't have no lingering effects because he definitely has a real bad concussion. And hopefully, he's able to come back and fight again and he don't have no lingering effects because he took some shots in that fight. Mark Masayo, he got them hooks. He got a dangerous hook. You know what I'm saying? That dude got a dangerous left hook. And y'all hit the like button. TJ Sports Nation, salute. Yeah, so that was a hell of a fight. Yeah, man, John Kramer, man. Yeah, man, he had that sleep apnea. Dude was sleeping. He was out cold. And like I said, man, if you're a real boxing fan, you was nervous for Julio Ceja because it didn't look good. It didn't look good for him at all. So that was a hell of a fight. That was a hell of a fight. And it was an exciting fight. Like I said, a lot of times it's the fighters that you really don't know about because I knew Julio Ceja, but I had never seen Mark Masayo fight before. And a lot of times it's the fighters that you really don't know about that really put on. It's those fighters that's really going to go out there and show out and put on. And they put together a hell of a fight for the fans, That was a hell of a fight. And also, we had, what other fight did we have besides the Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero? What other fight did we have on that card? I can't even think right now. But so the Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero fight, that was a hell of a fight. Yeah, Omega Red, you need to go watch that card, man. That was a hell of a card. The Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero fight, that was a hell of a fight also. That was a hell of a fight. But that fight, I didn't really get to watch that fight like I wanted to because when that fight was going on, I actually left because I was watching the fights at my house, and then I left to go to my homeboy's. He got a bar restaurant spot to go watch the fight. So during the Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero fight, I didn't really get to watch that fight like that. And then L Dub Boxing, what's happening with it? Salute. And y'all go sub to L Dub Boxing. Yeah, I didn't get to see the Castro and Escadon fight. I didn't really get to watch that fight. I wasn't really too paying because I was, getting dressed and stuff. So I wasn't really paying too much to that fight. No, actually, I think I did watch that fight. Escadon was managed by I think I did watch bits and pieces, but I didn't really get to really sit down and watch that fight like I did the Julio Ceja and Mark Masayo because I had money on Mark Masayo, so I did make sure I paid attention to that fight. I hated that I didn't really get to watch the Robert Guerrero and Victor Ortiz fight like I wanted to. I watched some of it, I watched some of it, but I didn't get to watch it like I wanted to. And to me, from when I was watching it, Victor Ortiz was getting in Robert Guerrero's ass. I had picked Robert Guerrero to win but Victor Ortiz was getting in his ass. But one thing I said about Victor Ortiz, I said Victor Ortiz, he's either going to give up, right, and quit. But if he don't give up and quit, he's going to slow down in the later rounds. And I think that's what happened in the Robert Guerrero and Victor Ortiz. I think Victor Ortiz came out strong. He was giving Robert Guerrero a lot of problems. He had Robert Guerrero's eyes all the way closed shut. And I think that Victor Ortiz, from what I saw, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, from what I saw, it looks like Victor Ortiz started slowing down in the later rounds, and Robert Guerrero's just tough. He's not going to stop coming. Robert Guerrero just kept coming and coming and coming. And, but from what I saw, it looked like a real close fight. Um, it looked like a real close fight. John Kramer says, yeah, Ortiz hurt Robert with the first punch. He threw was badly hurt in the first round. Yeah, I saw that. Ortiz, man, he can fight. And he got explosiveness, he got power, he don't got the heart, and he just don't stay active enough. I think Victor Ortiz hadn't fought in like 3 years. But the dude can fight. So I actually got to go back and watch that fight also because, I was kind of in and out. I was on the road while that was going on. I made it to my partner spot. And, it was kind of, yeah, it was a lot going on. So I didn't get to watch the Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero fight and lock in like I wanted to. From what I saw, though, it looks like that Victor Ortiz was winning the fight. But, he slowed down in the end. And so what y'all think about that fight? Like, what was y'all assessment on that fight? Am I right? Was Victor Ortiz winning that fight and Robert Guerrero just kept coming and Victor Ortiz started to slow down, towards the end and let Robert Guerrero catch back up? Because that's what I saw from what I watched. Like I said, I'm going to go back and watch that fight. I'm definitely going to go back and watch that fight so I can, get a better assessment of the fight. Yeah, well, Robert Guerrero, he hadn't been out that long. Let me pull up Robert Guerrero, John Kramer. He hadn't been out that long. Robert Guerrero had fought, let me see. Let me see. Let me see because I think Robert Guerrero, he hadn't been out that long. Robert Guerrero had fought. Damn, he had. Robert Guerrero hadn't fought in 2 years. Almost 2 years. So yeah, you're right. Robert Guerrero had been out for almost 2 years, right? In September, it'll be 2 years that Robert Guerrero had been out, And then Victor Ortiz, wait. Yeah, Victor Ortiz hadn't fought since 2018. That's crazy. He hadn't fought since 2018 when he lost to Devin Alexander. No, wait, he had a draw with Devin Alexander. I had forgot he fought Alexander. That shit crazy. 2018. He hadn't fought in over 3.5 years. Carlos Molina, I'm here to tell you that you don't know shit about boxing. You know how to type better than you do know how to talk boxing. You don't know shit about boxing. That's what I'm here to tell you. For real. And you was probably one of the ones that was in here talking all that Manny Pacquiao shit. So what you got to say now? What do you got to say now? You was one of the ignorant ones that was in here talking all that Manny Pacquiao shit. Now you fucking sitting behind a keyboard typing, looking like a goddamn fool because you don't know shit about boxing. That's what I want to tell you, Carlos Molina. Um, let me see. Trillion Dollar Dream says he had Ortiz winning, but it should have been a draw. Yeah, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I picked Robert Guerrero to win, but as I was watching the fight, I'm like, man, it looked like to me that Victor Ortiz is winning this fight. But like I said, I was watching bits and pieces. But every time I would kind of lock in on the fight, Victor Ortiz looked like that he was getting the better of Robert Guerrero. Robert Guerrero continued to come forward, but to me, it looked like Victor Ortiz was landing the harder shots, and he hurt Robert Guerrero several times in that fight, from what I saw. So anyway, but anyway, yeah. So we got dudes like Carlos Molina that don't know shit about boxing. You know what I'm saying? He know how to run his fucking mouth on the keyboard, but he don't know shit about boxing. So, and if he got on this motherfucking panel, I'll eat his ass alive. He don't want to get on this panel. Like I said, quit typing. If you want to talk about it, I'm going to put the link in the chat if you want to talk about it, Carlos Molina. And you could grab that link and we could talk about it. Because I don't think you know shit about boxing. But you could try to get on this panel and prove me wrong. There's the link right there. There's the link right there. Links for days. There go the link. If you want to get on the panel and you think you know what you're talking about, you come on here and try to prove me wrong. There's a link. Other than that, ain't really nothing else for you to type. There's a link right there. But so yeah. So it was some good fights, man. It was some real good fights on that fight. On that card. Like, it wasn't the names that we wanted to see. It wasn't none of the names that we wanted to see on the undercard, but they turned out to be some real good fights, and that's what you got to do. You got to take advantage of the opportunity that you give it, and you got to show out with that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he ain't gonna get on the panel. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't know shit about boxing. Yeah, it was a good night of boxing, Louis James. L Dub, yeah, I did hear about that Cambosos versus Teofimo Lopez on Triller. Yeah, man. It should be a good fight. I don't know too much about Cambosos. You feel me? I don't know too much about Cambosos, but a lot of people saying that he is a very good fighter. You know what I'm saying? I don't, a lot of people say that Cambosos is a solid fighter. He just don't got a lot of power, but they saying that he's a solid fighter. I gotta go look at Cambosos. I only seen him fight one time. And I thought he lost. You know what I'm saying? I think I saw him. Who did I see him fight? Lee Selby, I think it was. I thought he lost that fight. But let me see. Let me pull up George Cambosos. Let me pull up his resume. Let me see if he's fought anybody besides the last fight I saw him in. And like I said, I thought he really lost that fight, if you ask me. Damn, phone is okay. Something going on. Hold on. Let me pull up his. Let me see. I don't know why BoxRec is messing up. It don't want to pull up. Hold on. Yeah. So he fought Lee Selby in October 31st, 2020. That's the fight that I saw. I thought he lost to Lee Selby. They gave him a split decision win, but he lost that fight to Lee Selby to me, right? And he didn't look all of that. A lot of people saying, George Kambosos is a hell of a fighter, but he didn't look all that to me when he fought Lee Selby. He fought Mickey Bay, and he won by split decision to Mickey Bay, and that was in 2019. Other than that, let me see who else he fought. He ain't fought nobody else that we know. He's 19-0 with 10 KOs. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, George Kambosos is gonna get his ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's cause I hear a lot of people, oh, this is gonna be a very tough fight for Teofimo. I don't think so. I think George Kambosos on October the 5th is gonna go in there and get his ass beat on Triller. And Teofimo Lopez is gonna do what he got to do, and continue to reign as champion until he fight a Tank Davis, or until he fights a Devin Haney or one of these dudes. Because Teofimo Lopez, to me, is the number one fighter at 135. Until somebody prove it. One of these dudes got to come and prove it and beat Teofimo Lopez, and George Kambosos ain't the one to do it. Straight up. TJ Sports Nation says, I'm rolling the dice on George, but hey, I'm here. TJ Sports Nation. If you want to put a little wager on that, I got Teofimo Lopez all the way. Jay Triller says, when the last time George stopped someone, he said that boy getting beat the F up. He says, Teo, he hungry though. He will fall short. Teo is just better, period. Yeah, man, Teo better than George Kambosos, for real. I don't know why people think that George Kambosos Jr. can mess with Teofimo Lopez, but nah. But let's move on. And y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all smash on my like button. Make sure that you hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing. If you can't support the channel no other way, hit the like button. So let's check this out. I want to talk about the Pacquiao versus Ugas fight now. Let's cook on Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas. Now, I kept trying to tell y'all, a lot of people was coming in here talking about Pacquiao was going to destroy Ugas, this, and that. And now people all over, right? All over YouTube, all over social media is calling it a big upset. This fight was no upset. Nothing was an upset about this fight. Yordenis Ugas is a solid fighter. I told y'all, right? And when I gave my assessment of the fight, this is what I said. I said that, you got to look at the factors with Manny Pacquiao. I said, Pacquiao is not Superman. I said, Pacquiao, although whatever y'all think, I said, he still hasn't fought in 2 years. I said, and on top of that, right? I told you on top of that, remember when I told y'all, I said, go back and look at Pacquiao's fight, the fight that he had with before Keith Thurman. I said, look at Pacquiao's fights that he had before Keith Thurman. I said, he looked like he was slowing down before he fought Keith Thurman. I said, go look at the Adrian Brunner fight, right? And I told y'all, I said, go look at the fight when he fought Lucas Matisse. I said, he didn't look good in either one of those fights. I said, Lucas Matisse was just fucking all the way washed up, fresh off spin cycle, right? I said, Lucas Matisse was just shot. He was just done. He shouldn't have even been in the ring, right? And Manny Pacquiao didn't look that good in that fight. I said, and then the Adrian Brunner fight. I said, if you go look at the Adrian Brunner and Manny Pacquiao fight, I said, it's not that Manny Pacquiao looked too good in that fight either. I said, because he didn't. I said, Adrian Brunner was just fighting scared and he wouldn't throw no punches. But Manny Pacquiao didn't look spectacular in that fight. Now, when the Keith Thurman fight came, I said, now, Manny Pacquiao looked different in the Keith Thurman fight than he had looked for years. But I told y'all, I said, he's 42. He's been out of the ring for 2 years. I said, so you don't know what Manny Pacquiao you're going to get in the ring. I said, you don't know how Manny Pacquiao is going to look. And also another factor that you got to play into this, right? When Manny Pacquiao was with Top Rank, you kind of got to look at the opponents that they put in front of Manny Pacquiao, right? A lot of the opponents, he fought Tim Bradley 4 times, fought Juan Marquez 4 times, right? Then he was fighting guys like Brandon Rios. And I'm not taking nothing away from Pacquiao because I love Manny Pacquiao. He's a great fighter. He's a great man, period, right? So I'm not going to take nothing away from Manny Pacquiao. But you got to look at some of the fighters that he was fighting in the second half of his career, right? He was fighting a lot of fighters that they weren't top-notch fighters. Chris Algieri, Brandon Rios, goddamn, Timothy Bradley's a solid fighter, but come on now. You know what I'm saying? Timothy Bradley ain't beat no Sean Porters and no Keith Thurmans and no Errol Spences. You feel me? And so you got to look at his resume, right? And he was kind of put in there with a lot of opponents that was more tailor-made to, you know, kind of a Pacquiao. So he hadn't been in the ring with a young guy like Ugas, right? So move forward, right? Now, let's move forward to the fight. So I told y'all all of this stuff before the fight took place. I said, so I told y'all, I said, so I'm kind of edging Manny Pacquiao because if we get the same Manny Pacquiao in the ring that we got in the ring with Keith Thurman, I said, I feel that he can edge Ugas. And I said, because I think Ugas has an injury. I said, and if Ugas is affected by the injury, it's going to cause him a lot of problems with Manny Pacquiao because I said, if Manny Pacquiao's smart, he's going to test that injury out. He's going to try to hit Yordenis Ugas in the arms, right? He's going to try to target that injury that Yordenis Ugas has. So I told y'all, I said, this is a very close fight. Now, leading up to the fight on Saturday, I didn't do it live, but I was going back and forth with myself, going back and forth. And you know what? I said, you know what? I think Ugas can win this fight. And I actually bet on Yordenis Ugas to win the fight. I picked Ugas to win. And the reason I picked Ugas to win is because for the fact is that Manny Pacquiao, he hadn't looked good. Like before he fought Keith Thurman, he hadn't looked good to me in a long time. Also, him being out of the ring for 2 years, nobody's Superman, no matter what y'all tried to say. And Yordenis Ugas can fight. He can fight. You know what I'm saying? He's long. He got a good stiff jab. He goes to the body very well. And I thought that him going to the body would be the key to him winning the fight with Manny Pacquiao. But he didn't actually go to the body as much as I thought he should. So in this fight, you can see from the very beginning that Manny Pacquiao still had devastating punching power. He stunned Yordenis Ugas several times in that fight, right? Manny Pacquiao's speed was still there, his hand speed, right? And, you know, of course, he's 42. He's not going to move in and out as fast as he used to, but he still looked good to me. So a lot of people's running around here talking about, oh, Manny Pacquiao shot, you know, give it up, you know, please. If you go watch the fight, Manny Pacquiao still looked very good in that fight. To me, Manny Pacquiao looked as good as he did in the Keith Thurman fight. He really did. If you go back and watch the fight, Manny Pacquiao looked as good as he did in the Keith Thurman fight. The only difference, right? One of the main differences is Yordenis Ugas is tougher than Keith Thurman. He was able to take Manny Pacquiao's punches a lot better than Keith Thurman could take Manny Pacquiao's punching power, right? He looked very good for his age, Omega Red, and I'm not even going to say for his age. Manny Pacquiao looked good on Saturday night. You're not going to win them all. That's what people don't understand. Certain styles make fights. And the difference between what you saw Saturday night and what we saw 2 years ago from Manny Pacquiao, it really wasn't too much of a difference. If you go watch and study the fight that we seen versus Yordenis Ugas, and we seen versus Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao might have looked better Saturday night to me. I'm telling y'all. The only thing is Keith Thurman was not able to take Manny Pacquiao's punching power like Yordenis Ugas could, right? Because, yeah, Manny Pacquiao did stun Yordenis Ugas a couple times in that fight. And Ugas admitted, he said, man, he still has devastating punching power, and he stunned me a few times. He was like, he stunned me a few times. And y'all, please hit my like button. If y'all can't do nothing, please hit my like button while I'm breaking these fights down for y'all. Hit my like button and show some love. But he stunned Yordenis Ugas, and Yordenis Ugas admitted it. He was like, yeah, he stunned me a few times in the fight, on different occasions, right? But he was able to take that punishment. Keith Thurman, if you go back and look at Keith Thurman's reactions every time Keith Thurman would get hit with a hard shot by Pacquiao, it was a different reaction. Keith Thurman wasn't able to take Pacquiao's power like Yordenis Ugas. Keith Thurman was able to take it enough to survive the fight, but he wasn't able to take, right, the fight. He wasn't able to take the punching power of Manny Pacquiao like Ugas did. You know what I'm saying? Even the body, right? Another thing I said was going to be a big factor that was going to play a big factor in the fight, right, was that I said Yordenis Ugas will be able to take body punches from Pacquiao, and Keith Thurman wasn't, right? That was a big thing from Keith Thurman. He wasn't able to take that body punishment from Pacquiao. You seen him run and curl over when Pacquiao caught him in with a body shot, right? So it's different levels. Yordenis Ugas showed that he was tougher than Keith Thurman. It's not that we had an old washed up Manny Pacquiao, right? Now, Keith Thurman and Ugas, they have both similar builds. They both have long arms. They both, a lot longer than Manny Pacquiao, right, in the ring. But Yordenis Ugas was smart because what he did from the beginning of that fight, he controlled the fight with his jab. That's what won him the fight. His jab won him the fight because when Manny Pacquiao was trying to jump in and out, Yordenis Ugas knew to step back, shoot the jab, and he was controlling with the jab. He was shooting the jab and controlling Manny Pacquiao with the jab, right? Because that in and out, that jumping in and out that Manny Pacquiao do, that is going to frustrate a lot of fighters. It frustrated Ugas. But Ugas was smart enough. Those Cubans, one thing Cubans can do, if they don't have all of the power in the world, one thing Cubans can do, they know they have good boxing IQ, right? They know how to make adjustments. And what he did is he was doubling up the jab. He was throwing triple jabs, and he was confusing Manny Pacquiao with the jab, right? Also, he was going to the body when Manny Pacquiao would try to use angles on Ugas. Ugas then would throw the jab out there. He might triple up, and then he'll go to the body. Now, one thing that Ugas didn't do, right? One thing that Ugas didn't do enough is go to the body. I thought that Ugas should have went to the body a lot more to make the fight a lot easier than what it was. But he still did enough to win the fight. He hurt Manny Pacquiao. And if Ugas had any type of power, see, Ugas don't have power like that. He was catching Manny Pacquiao, timing Manny Pacquiao coming in. Manny Pacquiao has never had the greatest defense. You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao's defense, his offense was pretty much his defense, moving in and out, the angles and confusing opponents. He never had the greatest defense. Right? But the great thing about Ugas is he knew what to do. Him and his team came up with a great game plan to beat Manny Pacquiao. Did they do it easily? No. This fight was not easy for Ugas. Like I told y'all before, Manny Pacquiao stunned Ugas. He hit Ugas with some very hard shots, but Ugas he was just determined. He was determined, And Manny Pacquiao, in some of the later rounds, Manny Pacquiao started coming on. But Ugas, he never folded. He never gave up. And Shout out, and we gotta salute Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas because they both gave us a great fight. They both came to fight. They both came to fight. And Manny Pacquiao, he took some hard shots. He took some very hard shots. Ugas took some hard shots. They went to war, but as the rounds was going on, Ugas was winning those rounds to me clearly. He was landing the more hard shots than Pacquiao because he was landing the more flush shots. And what Manny Pacquiao was doing, right, is Manny Pacquiao smart, right? Because Manny Pacquiao knew that a lot of the shots that he was throwing, he wasn't landing. But he knew to throw a lot of shots. So what Manny Pacquiao was doing, he was throwing a lot of fast shots and flurries, and he was getting the crowd's reaction, thinking that, okay, even though I'm not landing these shots, I'm not able to get in distance because Ugas was catching him coming in. Ugas had great timing on Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao, even though he wasn't landing, he was throwing flurries to basically get the crowd's reaction. He knew the crowd was going to scream, and to get the attention of the judges. Sometimes you can fool the judges, right? The crowd starts screaming, and you throwing, fast shots, and the judges can't really tell if the shots are landing them or not. But that's what Pacquiao was doing because he's a smart veteran. But he was missing a lot of those shots. A lot of those shots Ugas was catching on the gloves, but Ugas was getting hit with some shots. The shots that Manny Pacquiao was landing, he was making them shits count. And we still see that Manny Pacquiao got devastating punching power. Look at Ugas' face. But, it's always, to me, like my man in the chat said, it's always quality beats quantity. You feel me? Ugas' timing was great, and he had pinpoint accuracy with that jab. He was landing hooks. He was just landing flush shots all night on Manny Pacquiao, and that was the difference in that fight. It wasn't because Manny Pacquiao was old and he's washed up, because that Manny Pacquiao that we saw in the ring. See, people just go off of what other people saying. A lot of y'all don't really form your own opinion by watching the fight and assessing the fight. People just go off of what other people saying. News headlines that come out, oh, Manny Pacquiao washed up, he got beat by Ugas, Stop discrediting Ugas and calling it an upset, because it wasn't no upset. A lot of people that think it was an upset, they just don't know shit about boxing like they think they do, right? If you have watched Yordenis Ugas fight before and you studied that man fight, you should know this fight wasn't no upset. Nobody should be shocked that Yordenis Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao. Stop discrediting Yordenis Ugas and calling it an upset and saying that Manny Pacquiao is just old and he ain't the same Manny Pacquiao and he's washed up, because he wasn't. I didn't see an old washed up fighter in the ring. I saw a fighter that was in the ring with a guy that was, gave him a difficult stylistic matchup. That's what I saw. And salute to KG Alexander, always coming through, showing love and support to the channel. He says, the Cuban style will always give even the best in the world problems, especially if you're not using head movement and those legs and coming flat-footed. Yeah. Now, in the second part of it, like kind of towards the second half of the fight, Manny Pacquiao, his legs did slow down a little bit. But you got to understand, if you watch the Keith Thurman fight, right? Because, see, he beat Keith Thurman, so everybody was like, oh, Manny Pacquiao is this and that. He was no different than he was Saturday night. If you go back and watch the Keith Thurman fight, what happened in the second half of the Keith Thurman fight? His legs slowed down, right? And he started fighting more flat-footed, giving less angles. Same thing happened in the Yordenis Ugas fight. So if y'all talking about he's washed up and he needs to hang it up, this, and that, why weren't y'all saying that after he fought Keith Thurman? Because he got to win? See, this is how different. This is how a lot of boxing fans be, right? The fight could have took place The same it did, the same fight, same exact fight could have took place right on Saturday. Only difference is they could have gave, if they had a gave Manny Pacquiao to win, right? Same fight, played out the same way, but instead of giving Yordenis Ugas the win that he deserved to get, they would have said Manny Pacquiao won the fight. Everybody would have been saying the opposite. Oh, yeah, Manny Pacquiao. We want to see Manny Pacquiao against Errol Spence now. We want to see Manny Pacquiao against Crawford. Manny Pacquiao looks great. He looked great. You know, it was a tough fight, but he looked great. Same shit y'all was saying with Keith Thurman. Y'all would have talked about how great Manny Pacquiao looked. But since they gave him the L, now y'all, it was just because he's old and he's washed up. He looked the same. He looked like the same fighter that he did to me in the Keith Thurman fight. Go watch those fights. Study both of those fights and you'll see. But yeah. Let me see what y'all talking about. Salute Batman off in the building. Batman said, I told y'all Ugas was going to win. Yeah, because you know boxing. A lot of people just go off of what they hear other channels say. If you watching other channels and whoever's on that other channel is telling you that, you know, Pacquiao is going to run through Ugas, Ugas has no chance, then y'all will start going off instead of making your own assessment. And if you're not too familiar with Ugas or whatever fighter it is, go watch that fighter and you study that fighter and then make your own assessment. You know, that's all you got to do. I told y'all this was going to be a very tough fight for Manny Pacquiao. Ugas is not an easy fight for nobody. And see, y'all tried to shit on Ugas and act like he wasn't shit when y'all thought that Errol Spence was going to fight Ugas, right? Oh, Errol Spence is cherry picking Yordenis Ugas. He's a fucking cherry picker. So, but before that, right? Before that, when Ugas was Errol Spence's mandatory, Errol Spence was ducking Ugas. That's what y'all said. But I'm letting y'all know, right? And I'm going to pull something up for y'all, right? So because I like to talk with facts. Nick Silvio was said salute. I like to talk with facts, right? That's my thing. My thing is to speak facts. And when I'm gonna show y'all, right? And this is no diss to Manny Pacquiao because I love Manny Pacquiao as a person and as a fighter. Give me a second, I'm gonna bring it up. But I'm gonna show y'all something, right? And I'm gonna show y'all that y'all just go off of what y'all hear instead of going off of, you know, facts. Give me a second. Let me pull this up for y'all, right? Here we go. Y'all bear with me real quick here. Pulling something up for y'all to show y'all that we're gonna talk facts, right? When you are trying to pick a fight, you gotta look at a lot of things that goes into who that fighter has fought, what they're doing, right? So let me share this screen with y'all. We're gonna pull up Manny Pacquiao's resume and we're gonna look at the type of fighters that he was fighting, and we're gonna see if he was fighting anybody like Ugas in the past, you know, 9 years. Hold on. I want to speak facts to y'all. When I told y'all earlier that you had to actually go and look at who Manny Pacquiao was fighting on when he was with Top Rank and after that, right? So if y'all can see this screen, let me make sure that y'all can see this screen. Good. Okay, y'all should be able to see this screen good, okay? Now, since 2011, we're going to start at 2011, right? He fought Marquez. Great fighter, but Marquez is a, you know, 135, 140-pound fighter at best, really. Marquez was never really but him and Marquez, they had wars with each other. Marquez is not a fighter like Ugas at all. Not the same size as Ugas, Then he fights Timothy Bradley, another fighter that's, around his same size, not a fighter like Ugas, right? He fights Marquez again. Then he fights Brandon Rios. Then he fought Timothy Bradley again, right? Then he fights Chris Algieri. Floyd, we all know what happened in the Floyd Mayweather fight, right? He fights Timothy Bradley again. He fights Jesse Vargas. We know that Jesse Vargas is not a top-level opponent. He fights Jeff Horn, and he beat the shit out of Jeff Horn, but they robbed him in Jeff Horn. Now, Jeff Horn is some garbage. He fought Lucas Matisse, and Lucas Matisse was trashed by the time he fought Manny Pacquiao. Lucas Matisse was done. He was all the way washed up. He fought Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner been washed up. Adrian Broner probably threw 3 punches around, right? Then he fought Keith Thurman. We saw what happened in the Keith Thurman fight. That was a great fight. A great fight. Keith Thurman just could not take Manny Pacquiao's punching power. And then sits out 2 years and fights Yordenis Ugas. So let me remove this. With that being said, right? Why would anybody say that this fight was an upset? Why would anybody say that this fight? Who had Manny Pacquiao fought in the last 10 years to tell you that he was going to be able to just walk through a fighter like Yordenis Ugas? The Keith Thurman that was in the ring with Manny Pacquiao off of a 2-year layoff, really, right? With one warm-up fight off a 2-year layoff. Do y'all think that Keith Thurman could have beat Yordenis Ugas? Come on. So, it's not an upset. Just take it for what it is. Give Yordenis Ugas his credit. Give Yordenis Ugas his credit. Stop taking credit away from Ugas and making excuses, right? And acting like, oh, it's because he was washed up. Manny Pacquiao fought Shane Mosley, my man. He fought Shane Mosley before all of that. Manny Pacquiao fought Shane Mosley way back in 2011. So we're talking 10 years. We're talking 10 years. So what did y'all think, that Manny Pacquiao took a dive in the ocean and he came out the same Manny Pacquiao of 2010? I don't understand this, right? You got to make your own assessment. So it's not an upset, but I'm a Manny Pacquiao fan, right? But some people got to be glad for Manny Pacquiao that this wasn't Errol Spence in the ring, because Errol Spence is a better fighter than Yordenis Ugas. To me, I think Errol Spence will stop Yordenis Ugas. And Errol Spence, no disrespect to Manny Pacquiao, but Errol Spence would have put Manny Pacquiao in the fucking dirt. Y'all better be glad this was not Errol Spence, because Errol Spence would have hurt Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence has a better jab than Yordenis Ugas. He's a much vicious body puncher than Yordenis Ugas. Errol Spence got better defense than Yordenis Ugas. Errol Spence is more athletic than Yordenis Ugas. Errol Spence can move better than Yordenis Ugas. So, whatever, and he's strong. Yordenis Ugas is strong, right? But Errol Spence would have fought a different fight because he's smarter than Yordenis Ugas. See, what Yordenis Ugas didn't do, it's a lot of things Yordenis Ugas showed me that he didn't do. Yordenis Ugas didn't impose his strength and his will on Manny Pacquiao. That fight, probably 95% of that fight was fought at distance, right? He fought that fight at distance. What Yordenis Ugas should have did to make the fight a lot easier than what he did is he should have imposed his will on Manny Pacquiao. He should have made it an inside fight. He should have pushed Manny Pacquiao back, right? He should have held Manny Pacquiao, right? Pushed him back to the ropes, dug to the body, then backed out and fought some of the fight at range, at mid-range, catching him with the jab coming in. But he didn't do a lot of things that he was supposed to do. And it made the fight a lot harder on Yordenis Ugas than it should have been. Now, if there was Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao would have had no fucking chance. He would have had no chance. Errol Spence would have grinded on Manny Pacquiao in the inside. He would have tore his body up. He would have stuck him with the jab. He would have drove him back to the ropes and beat him on the ring. He would have done all. He would have pretty much did whatever he wanted to Manny Pacquiao. He would have wore him down. He would have beat him down, and he would have stopped Manny Pacquiao. So y'all better be glad this wasn't Errol Spence in the ring, because Errol Spence is a much better fighter than Yordenis Ugas. But let's give Yordenis Ugas his props. And y'all smash on my like button. Y'all smash my like button. Please hit the like button. Ricky Beaver said, yeah, he said Spence would have sent Manny to the ER. Spence is more calculated than Ugas. Yeah, he's a better fighter than Ugas all around. And that's not taking nothing from Yordenis Ugas. But hopefully Errol Spence can come back and he's not out for too long. And that's a fight we will see. If Errol Spence is able to make a comeback and he's not out of the sport for too long, you know, we'll see Errol Spence and Ugas, and he'll get to prove to everybody that, you know, it was a blessing for Manny Pacquiao that it was not Errol Spence in the ring. It was a blessing for Manny Pacquiao that he didn't have to fight Errol Spence, because it would have got real ugly, real fast. Drew Titan LLC, what's happening with it, Big Drew? What's good with you, Big Drew? But yeah, it was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever happened, you know, God make things happen for a reason. I think that, you know, Errol Spence got to sit back, and it's making him more hungry. So when Errol Spence does come back, he's just gonna continue to get more hungry, and that's gonna make him better, right? Going through the things that Errol Spence has gone through, a lot of y'all counting him out. A lot of y'all say, oh, he'll never be the same, because I think things happen for a reason, and it's going to make Errol Spence more hungry, right? Having to be at the top of your peak, right? And you have to sit out for the last 3, you know what I'm saying, the last 3 years out of 5 years or whatever it's been, you have to sit out and watch everything play out, and you can't do nothing about it, because, you know, these unfortunate things continue to happen to you. When he come back, it's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem when he comes back, right? He's going to be a problem. And the good thing about this eye injury that he has, right? Once, you know, probably like a month, I don't know how long it takes for it to heal, but he can continue to work out. He can continue to get stronger. You know, he can't spar, but he can continue to work out, get his body physically stronger, work on his technique. You know, he can do all of that. You know, the thing with the car accident, he wasn't able to do all of that for a long time. But now he can continue to build and progress and work on technique and continue to stay in shape. That's all he needs to do. And he won't miss a beat. He might come back better. You see what I'm saying? He might come back better. He won't miss a beat. John Page said, my man Batman say, just like November the 6th, when Canelo Sweethand Plant beats when Caleb Sweethand Plant beats Canelo Alvarez, and I'll be like, I told y'all, he says, yeah, that he haven't seen that type of boxing style since Floyd and Lara. That's a fact. And a lot of y'all are going to be a lot of y'all going to have to shut up, right? I'm telling y'all right now that Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez, when that fight happens, hopefully it does happen, right? When that fight takes place in November, y'all going to be on here making a whole bunch of excuses, right? Because I think whoever wins that fight, I'm edging Caleb Plant to beat Canelo. But it's going to be a close fight. It's going to be a close fight either way. Y'all, a lot of people on here, right, Always, and especially on Money Brown, right? And me and Money go back and forth about this shit, right? All the time. A lot of people on here think that Canelo Alvarez is just gonna run through Caleb Plant. Oh, he just gonna fucking destroy it. But like I said, a lot of y'all don't know fucking boxing. You go off of what you hear other people say. Go and watch a fighter, study a fighter, study what they can and can't do. If you do that, you'll be better off and you wouldn't type a lot of this ignorant shit that y'all be typing. It's gonna be the same way. If Caleb Plant is able to pull off a victory against Canelo Alvarez, don't come in this motherfucker talking about no upset. I don't want to hear none of the boxing channels, nobody talking about it was an upset. It ain't going to be an upset. Now, is it going to be a very close fight? Yes, it's going to be a very close fight. You know what I'm saying? It's going to because I don't see Caleb Plant knocking out Canelo. I don't see Canelo stopping Caleb Plant. I think that you're going to see two great fighters get in the ring, and it's going to be a close fight, right? But when it's a close fight, don't be surprised. Whoever the winner is. You know, I mean, come on. My man Drew, and make sure that y'all go sub to my man Drew Titan LLC. Make sure that y'all go sub to Big Drew. Drew Titan says that he says Caleb down 4 rounds on the cards already. He must box Canelo face in. Yeah, man. But one thing I gotta say about that, Drew, right? One thing I gotta say about that, Drew Titan, is that I think that Caleb Plant would not have no chance in the world of beating Canelo Alvarez if this fight had taken place on DAZN. But we got to think, this fight is taking place on the PBC platform. So I think that gives Caleb Plant a better chance of winning on the scorecards, a better chance of not getting cheated on the scorecards, right? I think it gives Caleb Plant a better chance of not getting just cheated on the scorecards because you are fighting under the PBC platform, right? Now, it all just depends also on what agenda PBC has. If PBC is looking to where they're like, okay, we want to lure Canelo over here and get all these fights with Canelo, and we don't look at Caleb Plant like that, well, then, yeah. But I think that PBC, if they see, I think that they believe in Caleb Plant. I really do. I think that they believe in Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant has the look to become a mega superstar, because if Caleb Plant beats Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant might become a bigger superstar than Canelo because he got the look. All of them, and this ain't got nothing to do with race, right? I'm not, and he's racist. Don't start all that bullshit. But let's keep it 100. All of the white fans that's not rooting for Caleb Plant right now because for some reason they don't like his swag or they don't believe in him, they're going to jump on the Caleb Plant bandwagon because now all of the white fan base, they have somebody that looks like them that's doing great things in boxing. So all of the white fan base is going to jump on Caleb Plant's bandwagon. The one that you don't hear coming in here talking about Caleb Plant now, they're going to jump on that bandwagon because now they have somebody that looks just like them that's in boxing that they can ride with. So Caleb Plant can arguably, if he beats Canelo Alvarez, he can arguably become a bigger fan, a bigger star than Canelo Alvarez. Because now he going to have the brothers riding with him. He going to have the white fans riding with him. He going to take some of Canelo Alvarez's fan base. And yeah, man. But he got to do it. It's easier said than done. Like I said, that's going to be a hell of a fight come November. We're going to get a great fight. So some of y'all that's thinking that Caleb, I got Caleb Plant's going down in 4K. Ain't no way. Y'all gonna be surprised. We Talk Sports says Caleb Plant caught my eye after Uzkataki. Yeah, man, I've been riding with Caleb Plant his whole career. I met Caleb Plant, talked to him on. He a cool ass dude on several occasions. I've had several conversations with Caleb Plant. I actually got an interview in my phone with Caleb Plant that I never even put out. And Caleb Plant has always had the utmost confidence in him, in himself, and his abilities. Right? He doesn't lack no confidence. And that's one big factor that's going to play a key factor in this fight when he fights Canelo. A lot of these guys, like Caleb Plant said on Saturday night, a lot of these guys, they've already lost the fight before they step in the ring with Canelo. They just coming in to get a payday. They don't even believe they can beat Canelo. They just coming in to get a payday they've already lost before they step in the ring. Caleb Plant, he really thinks he's better than Canelo Alvarez. He really thinks that he can beat Canelo Alvarez. That right there already makes for a different fight. Caleb Plant is much slicker, much faster, has a better ring IQ than anybody that Canelo has been in the ring with since he fought Lara. And these are facts. Y'all don't think they facts, but come November, y'all gonna see that these are facts. War Eagle 853. If you think Plant lost the fight before he steps into, that's you know what I'm saying. That's what you think. Lyric Bomb says Caleb Plant knocks down Canelo round 4. I don't think that Caleb Plant nor really anybody else has the punching power to knock down Canelo. Like, that's one thing that Canelo, I think Canelo has probably the toughest chin in boxing, if not one of he definitely, excuse me, Canelo Alvarez definitely by far has one of the best chins in boxing, if not the best. I would put Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez, those two right there. You give me Gennady Golovkin or Canelo Alvarez's chin any day in any fight, I'm taking it. So I don't see Caleb Plant knocking Canelo Alvarez down. Now, it could happen. Anything can happen in boxing because Caleb Plant is slick, and the shot that you get hit with, right, that you don't see is the shot to knock you down. He could get a flash knockdown, but I don't see it happening. But like, Caleb Plant is better than Billy Joe and anybody else that Canelo has been in the ring with since Lara. Now, Triple G is a great, was a solid fighter, right? Especially, you know, the first Triple G that Canelo got, solid fighter, right? Solid fighter. But Triple G makes for a different stylistic matchup. So when I say that Caleb Plant is the best opponent that Canelo has been in the ring with since Lara, I don't really factor in Triple G because Triple G is a different stylistic fight, right? Two total different styles, right? And so I think as far as a fighter that can move, that's slick, right? That's fast, that has good ring IQ. When all of that, I think a fighter like that, Caleb Plant will be the best fighter that has those attributes since he fought Lara. And I'm not sitting here saying that, oh, Canelo Alvarez, he can't fight fighters that move. And I think Canelo has got a lot better since he fought Lara, right? But you got to understand, Caleb Plant is a super middleweight, a natural super middleweight that actually fought at light heavyweight in the amateurs. Caleb Plant is a natural super middleweight that can do all those things. That's slick, that can got good footwork, got good hand speed, good ring IQ, right? And he punch harder than Lara. So he does all of that at the super middleweight division. Last time Canelo fought somebody that did all of that, that was at 154, right? That was at super welterweight. Now he has super middleweight, gonna fight somebody that can do all those things. So yeah, Canelo has gotten way better since he fought Lara, but he ain't never fought nobody at these higher weight classes that could do all of these things. Um, and Billy Joe, like I said, and people want to talk about, well, Billy Joe ain't been shit since he got caught on PEDs. Go back, and that's why you got to stop listening to what other people say and just go back and watch Billy Joe Saunders fights, right? Ever since that he got caught on PEDs. Go watch his fights after that. Billy Joe never looked like shit. Now, I do give Canelo Alvarez credit for going in there and beating the shit out of Billy Joe, breaking his face and stopping him. I give him credit because Billy Joe had a belt, and Canelo Alvarez went in there in front of 70,000+ fans, and he did what he was supposed to do. Now, what I mean by Canelo did what he was supposed to do, because before they announced that he was going to fight Billy Joe, I said he's going to beat the shit out of Billy Joe. Billy Joe ain't shit, right? After they announced that he was going to fight Billy Joe, I said he's going to stop Billy Joe. He's going to beat the shit out of Billy Joe. Billy Joe ain't shit. So, to me, he did what he was supposed to do against Billy Joe. Does he get full credit 100%? Yeah. Why shouldn't he get credit? Because he went in there and did what he was supposed to do. But what did he do something that was out of the ordinary, stopping Billy Joe? No. He was supposed to do that. If you're a fighter on the level of Canelo Alvarez, if you at that top, because Canelo, to me, I don't care where nobody else have him. To me, I got him at the top of my pound for pound list because of his resume, and somebody got to dethrone him, right? Everybody say, oh, well, he ain't fight this, and that. Well, if you compare his resume to all of the rest of, to everybody else's resume, if you compare his resume to all these other guys at the middleweight or super middleweight, well, they haven't done nothing near what he's done. It's only a few fighters in all of boxing that you can, compare resumes with Canelo. So for that fact being said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he moved up and down in weight. He's fought the best fighters. Whether it was Lara, Mayweather, we know, just the list goes, Cotto, all of them. We know Triple G, it's some factors behind when he fought them and whatever, but he still fought them. The rest of these guys, we can't say that for them. We can't say, well, they fought because they ain't fought no fucking body, right? So, yeah, that's why he up there on my pound for pound list. Him, Errol Spence, I go off a resume, who you fought and who you beat. But with that being said, if you own that caliber, if you that caliber of fighter, well, you're supposed to go in there and fucking knock out guys like Billy Joe. So, yeah, I'm going to give him credit, but he ain't did nothing spectacular. That's all I'm saying. That's just like if Errol Spence goes and beats Josito Lopez or Jamal James. Let's see, Jamal James is a solid fighter, right? You will put Jamal James on the same type of level of a Billy Joe Saunders. If Errol Spence fought Jamal James and stopped Jamal James, nobody is going to fucking jump up and down and talk about how great, what great accomplishment Errol Spence just did because he fought Jamal James. You're going to give him his credit, and you're going to say that he did what he was supposed to do. So we're going to do the same thing for Canelo. He did what he was supposed to do. Ain't none of those guys that he's beat as of late, since Triple G, none of that shit is a great task. Yeah, you're a great fighter, but you got to, to me, you go in there, and if you beat, right, and I know they give you a fucking gift on the scorecard. If you beat Caleb Plant, to me, that's great. Like, to me, you did something that was great. So, that's how I look at the situation. Leon Robinson. You salute, Leon. Exactly. You were expected to beat Billy Joe. You was a huge favorite on the betting odds. So yeah, you get credit. So we don't discredit. We don't discredit Canelo Alvarez, but you did what you were supposed to do. We don't discredit you, but we don't give you more credit than you should get. Like some of y'all want to act like, oh my God, look what he just did, and look what he no, he's supposed to do that. Now, if you don't feel that Canelo is on that level, if Canelo is the number one pound for pound fighter, the opponents that he's been fighting, he's supposed to beat all those guys. All of them. But if you don't feel that he is on that level, well, then it's spectacular. So y'all got to pick your poison. It's either he's on that top level or he's not. And if he's on that top level, the guys that he's beating, it's not spectacular. He's just beating the guys that's put in front of him that he's supposed to beat. The guys that he picking to fight, because ain't no opponents put in front of him, he picking them fighting. But yeah, so he's a great fighter. Caleb Plant is a great fighter. It's going to be a great fight. So that's just what it is. That's how I look at the situation. I don't take no credit away, and I don't give more credit than credit should be given. Lee Dre Stevenson, what's happening with it? He says, problem is no one else is daring to be great at 160 and 168. Everyone waiting on Canelo fight. And that's a big fact. That's why I said all these other dudes, you can't say too much for him. He doing see what's making Canelo look maybe greater than a lot of people think he should look is because everybody around him, they're not doing shit. So he's standing out. He's basically, you know what I'm saying, leaving everybody else in the dust. Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, Daniel Jacobs, and whoever else you want to name. From 160 to 168, none of these other fighters are doing nothing great. They're not doing nothing spectacular. So when you look at what they're doing compared to what Canelo doing, it automatically it automatically makes Canelo look great. It makes him look greater than what he really is doing because they ain't doing shit. All they doing is sitting around waiting for his next move. They got to do some shit. They got to move up and wait and fight somebody. They got to do something they own instead of sitting around waiting on fucking Canelo, because Canelo is making his own path. Much props for Canelo for going in there fighting Caleb Plant, which is a very tough fight. And if you think Caleb Plant ain't going to be a very tough fight for Canelo Alvarez, you don't know shit about boxing. Oh, man, you always going to have a whole bunch of haters, Mr. Troll Killer. You're going to have a whole bunch of haters, you know what I'm saying? But they can hate, you know what I'm saying? They're going to hate in the background. War Eagle A53 says, nobody has given boxing fans more than Canelo. I can't really say that because you got to look at what Errol Spence has done. Look at all of the great fight after fight after fight that Errol Spence is giving you, right? Look at what Errol Spence is doing. You can't say that nobody is giving fans the great fights like. Look at what Errol Spence is doing from prime Triple G, right? And then you go on to Porter, to Danny Garcia, he was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao. Like, Errol Spence is putting in work. Deontay Wilder is another one that's giving us, but is fighting all the best opponents that's willing to get in the ring with him. So it's other fighters, but Canelo is definitely one of them. Canelo Alvarez is definitely one of them that's giving you great fights. Not all of the time, but he giving you good fights. He giving you solid fights. I can't really say that because if you look at the opponents that, just within the last 5 years, I think Spence ahead of Canelo. He didn't fought tougher fights. But Canelo, he's doing great things to move up and down in weight. You know what I'm saying? He's moving up in weight, and he's doing great things. So I'm not gonna take nothing away from him. Um, Leon Robinson says all Alvarez's fights are lately a foregone conclusion before the fight begins. Um, I mean, he can beat all these dudes. He ain't been in the ring with nobody that was gonna, and let me give him credit for Danny Jacobs, because Danny Jacobs was another tough fight that Canelo, took. They didn't want to give Danny, because before everybody was saying that Canelo wouldn't fight Danny Jacobs. He was going to duck Danny Jacobs, but he took the Danny Jacobs fight. He beat Danny Jacobs. It wasn't spectacular, neither one of them looked good in that fight to me. He did enough to beat Danny Jacobs. I had Canelo winning, I think, like 8 rounds to 4. But you got to give him credit for Danny Jacobs, because it's a fighter that people said he wasn't going to fight. He went in there, he showed out, he did his thing, he beat Daniel Jacobs. We got to give him credit for that. And y'all hit my like button. If you have not hit the like button, make sure that y'all hit the like button. That's the least thing y'all can do, is hit my like button. I appreciate y'all. Hit my like button. So you got to give Canelo credit for beating Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs was a solid fighter, a fighter that a lot of people thought had beat Triple G. Even though Daniel Jacobs looked like he on the downslide right now, but at the time he fought Canelo Alvarez, hey, you got to give him credit. You got to give Canelo credit. So, like I said, he got the resume to back it up. Colin Smith, a lot of people don't want to give him credit for Colin Smith, but Colin Smith was a real champion at 168. Colin Smith had been walking through guys, so you know what I'm saying, you got to give him credit for that. But we can continue to talk about the past with Canelo, or we can move forward. And you have to give. Let me go. Hold on real quick. We got this fucking clown ass dude in here from, I think he was over at Money Brown channel trolling. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get his ass up out of here. Hold on. And yeah, if y'all got wrenches, man, you see dudes with that's coming in here on some troll shit, get him up out of here. Yeah, get him up out of here. This fucking idiot up out of here. So yeah, you got to give we can talk about the past, but moving forward, a lot of people think, oh well, he didn't fight Charlo, he didn't fight. Moving forward, we got to look at Canelo for what he does moving forward, right? He's fighting Caleb Plant. Much respect, because Caleb, like I said, I'm stressing to y'all that Caleb Plant is a dangerous fight for Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? He got nuts for taking this fight. Difficult fight. And if he does get past, right? If he does get past Caleb Plant, then we got to look at what he does from then on. And so let's move forward, because he's still young. He's still got a lot left in his career. And I guarantee you that if Caleb Plant beats Canelo Alvarez, they got some type of rematch clause in there for Canelo. Yeah, so we got a lot to look forward to. We just got to hope and pray that, COVID and whatever and what's going on in the world don't stop a lot of these fights from happening. We got to hope that these fights take place, and y'all smash on my like button. Y'all smash the like button. Y'all make sure you smash my like button. But as far as Manny Pacquiao goes, I think that Manny Pacquiao is going to retire, but I think that Manny Pacquiao still got a lot left in the tank, because you didn't see no different in Manny Pacquiao from when he fought Keith Thurman to when he fought Ugas. I broke that fight down for y'all. I told y'all the differences. And with that being said, I think Manny Pacquiao, he's still very dangerous. Manny Pacquiao still can beat a lot of the top guys in the welterweight division. It's just all up to Manny Pacquiao. He got, like he said, he got a lot of duties to do with his country. He's the senator. That takes up a lot of his time. He's going to be running for president, right? And if he does get voted the next president of the Philippines, his career has to be over. It's no choice. You can't be a president and fight at the same time. So, hopefully he does, become the next president of the Philippines, because Manny Pacquiao is a great man, and I think the Philippines deserve a president like Manny Pacquiao, right? That's already done a whole lot for the country. I think the Philippines deserve that. So, and I think that's more important in Manny Pacquiao's life right now than boxing. But he's not washed up. Some of these guys, you can't tell me that Manny Pacquiao is washed up when you got guys that's 10 years younger than him that don't look half the fighter that he does. When you talk about washed up, you talk about guys like AB, Andre Berto. It's a few other names, I could name, but I don't really want to name them, so I ain't going to go there, but I'll just leave it at that. That's washed up. Manny Pacquiao ain't washed up. He just was in the ring with a better opponent. That's it. Give Ugas his props. 817 Boxing B, salute. He said Floyd needs to stop protecting Gervonta. Man, and salute, to Tank Davis. Tank Davis was in a crash, man. His private jet, his private plane crashed. And it's great for Gervonta Tank Davis that everybody, including himself, was able to make it out with no injuries, safe. And that could have been very bad, That could have been very bad, because we could be on here right now talking about that Gervonta Tank Davis is no longer with us. And, it's crazy. One day you here, the next day you gone. So Tank Davis is blessed. He's blessed to still be here with us. We've lost a lot of stars in plane crashes. Look what happened to Aaliyah. Look what happened to Left Eye from TLC. So Gervonta Tank Davis is blessed. He is very blessed. And look what happened to Kobe, man. And happy birthday to my favorite basketball player of all time, Kobe Bean Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bean Bryant is my favorite basketball player of all time. And happy birthday to Kobe Bryant. We lost Kobe in the plane crash. So we know that Gervonta Tank Davis is blessed. And Gervonta Tank Davis, he got to take this blessing. He got to take this and take it as a blessing, learn from it, and don't take it and think you Superman and think that you untouchable. Learn from it, take it as a blessing, and I hope that he takes this and make it into a good thing. You know what I'm saying? To where he looks at it to like, damn, I got to slow down, right? I got to continue to be great in boxing. And, because shit, I almost lost my life. I can't take nothing in life for granted because I almost lost my life. And things like that happen for a reason. Maybe, Gervonta Tank Davis, the wreck that he was in, coming out unscathed, maybe it happened for a reason to, whatever. I don't know what's going on in his life, if anything is going on. But everything happened for a reason. So hopefully Gervonta Tank Davis look at this and, as a blessing, and it helps him in a positive way. And rip, yeah, we talk sports, and rip to Gigi, rip to Kobe Bean Bryant and Gigi. Rip to Gigi and Kobe Bryant. It just makes me sad when I think about that situation, man. But so, Jose R., he says Canelo needs to stop fighting easy chumps as champions. Hopefully Andrade and Benavidez get to fight. We can't come in here and say that about Canelo when Canelo is fighting Caleb Plant next. Canelo is not taking an easy fight next. I don't know why y'all keep shitting on Caleb Plant like Canelo is, he's just taking another easy. No, that ain't what it is. Give Canelo his props. He's fighting Caleb Plant next. That is a fucking very hard fight. It's a very hard fight. Give him his props. Y'all got to stop this shit. I'm telling you, I can't wait for November to come, and I hope that COVID doesn't stop this fight from happening. I cannot wait for November to come because y'all are going to see that, for one, Canelo deserved his props for taking the fight, and that Caleb Plant is a hell of a fighter. With that being said, tomorrow I will be back on. We're going to be talking about the Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford's purse bid. We're going to be talking about if this fight actually takes place and a lot of other things that's going on in boxing. Make sure that y'all hit my like button. I appreciate everybody for coming in, tuning in, showing love and support. We will be back tomorrow. And until next time, y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. And salute to everybody. I'm gone.